the Wisconsin Badgers, the first team up. Of course, a little bit of a surprise last year for Wisconsin, missing the NCAA tournament, going 15-18, but so much back. And again, a ton of injuries last year, Demetric Trice and Kobe King among them. Essentially, this whole team back, including Ethan Happ, who was one of two players named unanimous all-conference. And we are joined by the Badgers now, Ethan Happ, Brad Davison, Coach Greg Gard. Again, I think anyone who follows basketball at any level understands what happened last year and why you guys did see that tournament streak coming to an end. That being said, I think it's still surprising. It's still something you had to deal with internally. So what was the message at the end of the year? Kind of what did you guys say about the season that was?
Well, it was dual-fold, Dave. One, obviously, we didn't accomplish what we wanted to accomplish and what the goal was at the beginning of the year. But the second point, that we had made some strides in the right direction. And now let's take all the experiences, box them, learn from them, grow from them, and move on and get ready for the offseason and prepare and improve and get ready for this year, which is these guys have done a great job of taking all that and encompassing those experiences and getting better.
Interested in from both of you guys, and obviously, Brad, it's your first year, so you had nothing to compare it to, but same question, kind of what you took out of last season that you can carry into this season.
I think one thing that we took out was the momentum that we gained towards the end of the season. You could tell that our younger guys got more experience, and we were kind of meshing at the right time. We just needed it to be a longer season, and we're just really excited to get this season underway.
Brad?
Yeah, like I said, we didn't have, I didn't have anything to compare it to. But, we definitely had an up and down season. But we did improve as it went on. And so right now it just kind of gives us some more fuel to the fire and a little more motivation inside to get back to where we want to be this year.
And again, you look for the explanations. Health was such a huge part of it. I mentioned Kobe and Demetric, but even the guys who did play, yourself included, I mean, you were really banged up last year. Your shoulder went out, 8 different times? First of all, why did you keep going? Why didn't you just say, man, maybe I'd be better off just hanging it up for a year?
I love the game of basketball. And, I was just thankful that I still had the opportunity to play when, I had two teammates who couldn't play. So I just wanted to do everything that I could to help our team be successful and win as many games as we could. But with that being said, I'm very excited to be healthy this year, to have 2 shoulders, and I look forward to going back out there.
Take us through the offseason and kind of how you rehab that injury, the procedure you had, all that. Kind of bring us up to date.
Yes, sir. So I had shoulder surgery the Monday after the Big Ten tournament. And then it's been a 7.5-month process of rehab and different therapy with trainer Henry back at Wisconsin. But it feels really good now. So I have no shoulder brace. I'm playing full contact. It feels good just to say it. It's been a while. So again, really looking forward to get back out there and playing the way that I know I can.
I couldn't help but to notice that when he said full contact, you kind of smirked a little bit, and he looked at you. Are you trying to get him to tone it down a little bit? Is that what I'm to infer from that look?
Well, he's probably referring to a day in July when he showed up at my office and knocked on my door and said, Coach, can I talk to you? I want to play. We were doing summer workouts, and he knew it was going to be some 5-on-5 that day, and I'm ready to go. And we knew there was a plan in place to go into the fall before he had contact. So knowing that he's a really big football fan and friends with a lot of Badgers on the football team, I said, hey, Brad, how many carries did Jonathan Taylor get in the spring game? And he said, none. I said, you're in your spring game right now. You're fine. We'll have you ready for the fall. So he got the message.
Okay, so tell us about how you've brought him along and kind of where you are in that process.
Yeah, well, he's followed the doctor's plans, and that was the plan, as he mentioned, that was set in place before the season ended. And as soon as it did end, we were going to go forward with surgery, and then it was going to be a longer process of the rehab. But right on target where we wanted to be. He's gotten full clearance, and he's back knocking people around and helping lead this team.
Ethan, I mentioned unanimous preseason all-conference pick. You're the only player in the Big Ten in the last 20 years to lead his team in points, rebounds, steals, assists, and blocks. How big of a challenge was it last year as you did have guys go down and guys who were playing not at 100% to have all of that on your shoulders?
It wasn't all on my shoulders by any means. I mean, you look at stats like assists, that's guys get me the ball, or me giving guys the ball and then making shots. And then points, that's guys getting me the ball in good positions. I think it's definitely a credit to my teammates and the coach put me in good positions. But at the same time, we did have a lot of guys go down, and people have to step up because of that.
You know, I'm interested, Coach. I mentioned the eight top scorers back from last year, and so you do have experience in contrast to the year before where you'd lost 4,800 career points and you're trying to reconfigure your team. That being said, you've got experience, but you still have some guys you're trying to work in, players who weren't a huge part of it last year, players who were banged up. What has the approach been, and how has this year's approach contrasted to last year's approach?
Well, I think if you reflect back to the point in time where we were in October a year ago, the experience level wasn't near what it was right now, as you mentioned. But I think the biggest thing I've seen in practice so far, albeit 10, 12 days in, is the competitiveness level. We are able to drill and compete head-to-head. These guys get challenged every day by their teammates. They're doing the same thing with the men that line up across from them. That's raised our bar internally already in terms of how we're able to compete, and tell these guys all the time, as long as you're going at the guy across from you as well as you can and challenging him every day, and he's returning the same favor, our team's going to get better, and they've done a great job so far doing that.
I know what the goals are of this program. You look at the track record of success that you guys have had, and it's almost unmatched nationally. I mean, it's amazing the consistency that Wisconsin basketball has churned out over the last couple decades. What are the biggest steps this group needs to take to get back to where you expect to be?
I think continue to build on the experience they got from last year and how they've used that through the summer and the fall so far. They understand the importance of the defensive end of the floor, and can we grow with how we did at the end of the last year where we really became a pretty good defensive team. And the same thing on the offensive end, the ability to take care of the ball and make good decisions and control what you can control, not beat yourself. And they got figured that out at the end of last year. I've seen a growth of that over the course of the offseason, and obviously we're bigger physically, we're more mature. Things have been expedited just because of the experience and physicality that returns.
All right, looking forward to seeing the Badgers this year. Greg Gard, Ethan Happ, Brad Davison. Thanks, guys. Really good to see you. Best of luck.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, sir.